All right, so we will be seeing how we can leverage Dax Studio for doing the Dax calculations, and then how we can move the calculations from here to Power BI. Okay, so first thing, when we open Dax Studio, so you can open the Dax Studio from your PBIX. So if you go within the external tool, when you click on Dax Studio, it will directly open the application. Towards the left, it will give you all the table names. Okay, and then this ID, what we are seeing is the PBIX dataset ID name. And then at the bottom, you see it's giving the local host name. So this local host name information and then this PBIX database name are used to connect to your PBIX. And then if I use evaluate, and then if I give the table name, then this simple syntax will return me list of all the customers that I have. So you could see at the bottom, it is giving me a list of all the columns and then the full table here. Okay. And then this is giving me query history. And then this is giving me the steps I took when I connected to the Stack Studio. Okay. So this is only helpful for a Power BI developer, but for a business user, or when you want to give a dashboard to your business users, everything will be done within Power BI desktop. So let's say if you have to present any information from the customers table, then you have to pick a new report page, and then you have to right click on this page, and then you have to say this is customer details. Okay. So on this report page, either you can present very simple information by adding a table visual, or you can have more detailed information present by either presenting KPIs, charts, trends, and all. But for now, I want to keep this very simple. So what I do is, so in DAX Studio, I have written the code as evaluate, but here we want to present the data. So first thing what I do have to do is I have to select a visual. So here I'm selecting a table visual. Within this, I want to add all the required fields. So I'm dragging and dropping customer ID. This is one way to add it. So you could see towards the left, so I'm showing all the fields that are available. I can give more space to this table visual so that it's covering most of the report page. And then after that, we want to give contact name. And then after that, we want to give, let's say, their fax number. Okay. So let's say they are reaching out to this customers for any promotion. Yeah. So this is this very simple way we will be providing the data. So once you have this table visual created, so you just save this and then you publish it onto the Power BI service. So using this publish option, so any business user, so let's say this data is now used by the marketing team, and then marketing team has 10 members. And then let's say they also wanted you to add a city filter. So let me add the city filter here, or let me add a region. Okay. So let's say one a marketing person is assigned a set of four regions. Then he will filter this data set, and then he will get a list of all the customers available here. So let's do that. So I'm selecting first, second, so I have to control click, sorry. I'm doing a control click here because I did not enable multi-selection. So let me come here within the selection control. So you could see I don't want to do single select, that is turn off. And then here, this is saying multi-select with control. So I'll turn this off. So this way it will allow me to uh, do multi-select. And then I'll also want to show a select all option so that users don't have to select everything. So I'm doing select all. So you see at the top, it's showing me select all. So here you see I have selected four regions. It's giving me a list of all this region. So if I'm the manager for this specific region, then the way I'll be using this data set is I'll be using this contact information, reaching out to this person, and then sending out the promotion. So this is how a front-end user will utilize the way you have presented the data. But for you, for doing the development, you will be leveraging Dax Studio for you to understand the data set, because the other key functionality what we have within Dax Studio is for you to see the model. As I mentioned, all the model will reside in a RAM, so it will be very crucial for you to understand your data set. Okay, but apart from this, so if you just come to for query purposes, so you will be able to quickly query the data, filter the data for one specific region, and then you will be able to. So if I come here and then when I have to say I have to filter the table, so the syntax, you see how this will build up. So I'm saying filter customers table, and then I want it only for Berlin city. So then the way I'll give it is every format here starts with the table name, so which is customers. Oops, sorry, customers. And from this, we want city. So you could see the syntax here. So let me highlight this here. So the way we are writing a syntax is, so for the first instance here, we provided the table name, and then we are saying just filter the data and then give it to me for whatever criteria I'm specifying. So first parameter, what we are passing here is the table name, and then the second parameter what we are passing, so we this is the full syntax what we have to follow. And then the same thing we do it for other uh, when we use other functions as well. So we start with the table name followed by the column name, and then from here what we want to do is we want to filter it for one specific city. So here I'm specifying, so let me take this back, and then here I'm specifying the city as Berlin. So I'm closing the quotations here. I'm closing the open bracket, and I'm all set. So the same data set, I'm not concerned about the other cities. So I'm only focusing on Berlin, and then I click run. So you could see now it's returning only one row for me. Okay, so this is how you can leverage it. So it's very at a basic level. But as I mentioned, this is again for a Power BI developer. Anything that you have to present will be coming directly from Power BI. So the last example, what we were seeing, so where we wanted to combine first name and last name. So let me come here. So let's see the invoices table, orders table. Okay, so let's pick this example here. So here's a good instance. So let me clear all the annotations here. In this instance, so let's say your manager is saying, hey, I just don't want to see just the product name. Can you also give me quantity per unit along with the product name? Then the requirement what we got here is we cannot just present product name. We also want quantity per unit. Okay. In this reason, we are trying to look to concatenate product name and then quantity per unit. So in this instance, so the development that need to be done will be within Power BI, and then we are looking to add another calculated column here. within this file, and then we will have all the data available here. So each row will appear here by concatenating the product name and then quantity per unit. Because if I go into the data view, so let me switch back to the data view here at this particular time. So we are targeting product concatenate. So let me rename this page, and then I'm saying products concat. And then when I add a table visual here, so this is the very basic way of presenting the data, and then focusing now on products table. And I want to take product name, and then I want to take quantity per unit field. Okay, so you see currently it's available as two different columns, but we want to concatenate. If I go here, we said combining this two, we would have this column created here. Whatever name we will be giving, there will be an additional column created here, and then we will be using that column. So now let's see how we can leverage Power BI to complete this requirement. So within the table tools, what we have available, so you could see under calculations, we have the option of creating new measure, quick measure, new column, and then new table. For now, we have this table available, which is the product table, and then multiple columns available. We want to only create a new column. So when I click on new column here, so this will prompt me to add column name and then what calculations I want to add here. So let's say if I don't have any requirement, and then let's say if I'm just adding this one as like a test column, then I can give a column name here. So let's say if I'm adding it as Monday, so within double quotation, and then if I click on apply, then you will be seeing this column here. It will have the name as test, and then every row here will repeat, and then it will give the same text what I have given here. So let me click on apply. So you could see here all the rows are repeating here and then showing the same thing for all the products here. But in this instance, so let's say if we want to concatenate product names and quantity per unit, then what we basically do is the way we first follow the standard method. So that first we have to refer to the table name we want to use, and then the field we want to use. So we are now are referencing to products table, and then we want to use the product name. So this is the first step we completed, and then ampersand sign represents concatenated two text fields. And here again the same syntax I'm following. In the products table, I want to use, what's this field? We have quantity per unit. So from products, we want to use quantity per unit. Okay. So this is how we do it. And then now you see the test column, what we have will combine products name and then quantity per unit. Okay. And then here, one thing what we observe is we don't have any space between product name and quantity per unit. That's the reason we want to introduce another text field or here. So I'm using another ampersand here. And then between this ampersand, I'm giving double quotations and then giving a space. So in this instance, so let me clear all the drawing here. So in this instance, the way Power BI is reading is, so we have this text field, and then anything what we give within double quotation, Power BI will treat it as a text field. So in this one, we only have a space. We did not give anything. We can give comma, we can give hyphen, But you could see between these three text, everything is being concatenated using and, so which is similar to how we add two sentences. So when I click on apply here, so now you should be seeing a space between a product name and then your quantity per unit. Okay, so you could see. So same way, so let me first present this data. Let me clear all the drawing. And then if I come here, now I can bring this field, the new field that I created. So you could see this is now concatenated data. And then I can remove now the quantity per unit, product name, and then I can add the unit price. Okay. So you could see I had two different columns, but now the way I'm presenting the data is completely different compared to the data what I got. And then let's say you also got the requirement of seeing the amount. Then what you have to do is you have to see the unit price and then how many units you have in stock. So that's how you get it, right? So what's the total amount? The same thing what you have to do the steps what we followed for doing this calculation. So let me rename this from test to product and quantity combine. So now you could see this column name is renamed, and I can go again within table tools, and then I can click on new column. The other prompt, what we are seeing the column tools. So you're seeing the same options here within the calculations new column. I can again click on this. So this time we are not doing text-based calculations. We are doing mathematical operations here. So I'm doing amount equal to, so the format what we have to follow is table name and then the column what we are referencing. So we are saying, give me unit price and then give me the units that I have in stock, units in stock. So you could see the calculations, what we have here is this units in stock and then the unit price and then the basic mathematical operations here. And then when I click and then say apply, so this will give me the amount. And then the difference you could observe here. So I have unit price and then I have units in stock. So these are two different data points that I have available. And then the third one that I want to see is the amount. Okay. And then we can also do the formatting. So if I click on the amount column, so you could see within the column tools, I have the option to change the name. I have the option to change the format. So let's see what formats we have available. So we have general, we have currency, decimal number, whole number, percentage, scientific. So this is the currency. Let me change that. And then it also give you the option of changing the decimal places. So here it's auto. So I can click on this up arrow and then I can say I want to show two decimal values and I can arrange this one. So for units in stock, that is looking good. But the one thing what we are missing here is we don't have commas. So we can click on this field here, units in stock, and then you could see the comma sign what we have. I can click on this and then I'll be able to see a comma here. And then for unit price, that will be a dollar amount. So I can come here and then within the format, I can click on currency. So this time again, it will be in a dollar amount, and then we'll have units in price, and then this multiplication. So if I can sort this now, then we are getting a complete information here. So where for the product and quantity, what's the unit price, how many units we have in stock, and then what's the amount we have. And then if you have to do any of the of conditional formatting, so you could come here within format and then do a conditional formatting. So within this, so let's say if we want to highlight the highest unit price here, then we can change the background color. So we can enable this. We can go in advance, and here I can click here and then say the highest price we want to mark, and then the lowest price are completely okay. Then you could see it highlights me all the available prices, and then specifically highlights the one are comparatively highest compared to the other products. Okay, so this is how we do it. But the other things that we have discussed within the formatting, so you will be able to do all the different changes here. So the same thing we also discussed, that similar thing could be achieved using DAX. But for now, let's keep our complete focus on calculated columns, and then slowly we'll see how we can move those calculated columns into uh, into measures. Okay. The other thing we saw, so let's say we have to capture the DAX query for this. So we have seen we can click on view, we can go within the performance analyzer, and then we can say start recording. And then on this table visual, I can click on this analyze in this visual, expand this table, copy the query, go within the DAX Studio. Let me remove this query, or I can comment this out at the top, you could see. So this is commented out. And then when I paste this query, so we could now try to read this. So you could see this is using this product and quantity combined, product amount and all. So it's a little bit more code, but this is how behind the scenes it will generate the DAX. All right, so let me stop recording.